Do not buy these trucks if you care about longevity. Let's explore why they might fail before 55,000 miles. Patawad. The 2015 Ram 1500 Eco Diesel promised to blend the efficiency and torque of a diesel engine with half-ton practicality. On paper, this sounded perfect. A turbocharged V6 diesel that could tow weekend toys and conserve fuel. Middle-aged drivers, especially those reminiscing about the days of durable diesel pickups, found the eco-diesel concept irresistible. But jokes aside, the 2015 model's reliability track record has left many owners frustrated. One frequently cited flaw is the troublesome EGR system, which can trigger a spiral of check engine lights or force the truck into limp mode. Imagine cruising along the highway, towing a boat, when the engine suddenly decides it's time to crawl, hardly the experience buyers expected. Worse still, there have been reports of early turbo failures, something you'd never want in a diesel engine touted as a longevity champ. A failing turbo not only drains your wallet but also undermines the supposed long-lasting appeal of diesel power. The 2015 Ram Eco Diesel also got caught up in an emissions compliance controversy, leading to recalls and modifications that rattled consumer confidence. If you were hoping for a trouble-free engine, discovering it was involved in an emissions scandal might dampen your enthusiasm. Problems with emission systems can sometimes complicate resale, too, since prospective buyers may worry about unresolved issues or lingering stigma. Another concern is the optional air suspension system. Marketed as a way to enhance ride comfort and improve load leveling, it faced complaints about sensor failures and air leaks, especially in cold weather. Air suspension repairs aren't cheap, leaving owners anxious about potential downtime or steep dealership bills. Despite its refined ride and torque advantages, the 2015 Ram 1500 Eco Diesel can be a roll of the dice if you want absolute reliability up to or beyond that 55,000-mile checkpoint. There are owners who report no major issues, but it's the uncomfortably high number of horror stories that push this truck onto our caution list. 9. The 2019 Nissan Titan set out to challenge America's big-name pickups. It boasts a bold exterior design, a comfortable cabin, and a powerful endurance V8. In theory, this was Nissan's best shot at dethroning the F-150, Silverado, and Ram 1500. However, things didn't go as smoothly in the real world, as many Titan owners encountered persistent reliability complaints that turned excitement into regret. A major complaint revolves around the 7-speed automatic transmission, which some describe as clunky and prone to gear hunting at inconvenient moments. When you're towing a camper or navigating uphill climbs, the last thing you need is a confused gearbox that can't settle on a gear. Over time, abrupt or poorly timed shifts can stress the drivetrain and wear components prematurely, potentially creating a maintenance nightmare well before 55,000 miles. Oil consumption emerged as another sticking point. Though not universal, enough Titan drivers reported unexpectedly high oil usage, forcing them to top off far more often than anticipated. Excessive oil consumption may signal underlying issues, like piston ring wear or valve train troubles, that could eventually compromise engine longevity. Even in mild cases, the additional hassle and potential for more serious mechanical complications dim the Titan's appeal for anyone seeking unwavering dependability. Resale value also crops up as a downside. Nissan hasn't built the same trust among truck buyers as the established domestic brands or Toyota. Consequently, a Titan's residual value can drop faster. If you're planning to sell or trade in a few years, that depreciation might sting. Add reliability doubts to the mix, and potential buyers might be wary of paying a premium for a used Titan, hurting your bottom line when it's time to move on. The 2019 Titan isn't a total flop. It has a comfortable ride, decent towing capacity, and enough cabin space to keep most families happy on long drives. Yet the transmission quirks, Sporadic oil consumption complaints and shaky resale value raise legitimate concerns. If you need a truck that's guaranteed to pull its weight without mechanical drama, there's a risk the Titan might not measure up. It's a calculated gamble, and in a segment where competition is fierce, some people prefer safer bets. The 2016 Chevrolet Colorado was marketed as the comeback kid in midsize pickups. Fans hailed its approachable size, car-like handling, and the option of a fuel-sipping diesel engine. It quickly became the darling for those who wanted something more manageable than a full-size truck without giving up a bed for hauling weekend project materials. But beneath the buzz, owners have highlighted alarming reliability flaws that sour the experience. One standout is the transmission shudder. Many owners describe a vibration between 1,500 and 2,000 RPM, making you feel as though you're cruising over rumble strips even on smooth pavement. In some trucks, a torque converter swap or transmission fluid changes can temporarily ease the problem, but many found the shudder stubbornly returned. Over time, persistent vibrations can accelerate component wear, undermining the goal of smooth, trouble-free motoring. If you chose the 2.8-liter Duramax diesel, you might have banked on rugged durability and stellar torque. While the torque delivery is excellent, the emissions system turned out to be a thorn for some. The diesel particulate filter can clog if you're mostly driving short distances or not triggering enough regen cycles. Clearing or replacing a DPF is no minor task, both time-consuming and expensive. Plus, repeated issues can make owners think twice about the diesel's supposed cost savings. Meanwhile, the 3.6-liter V6 gasoline variant has reported irregularities of its own, such as rough idle or elevated oil consumption under load. Is that guaranteed to lead to catastrophic failure? Not necessarily, but it hints that the engine might be operating near its upper limits, especially when towing or carrying heavier cargo. Over the long haul, that extra strain can result in more frequent repairs or a shorter engine life. Beyond powertrain concerns, the Colorado's electric power steering system has occasionally failed, leading drivers to lose assist unexpectedly. You can imagine the potential danger if it happens mid-turn in a crowded parking lot or on a winding road. Although not everyone experiences these mishaps, the fact that so many well-documented cases exist rattles confidence. Taken together, the 2016 Chevy Colorado's laundry list of potential pitfalls tarnishes the initial excitement. Yes, it's more maneuverable than a full size, and it can sip fuel when equipped with the diesel. But with widespread tales of transmission shudder, complicated emissions fixes, and steering glitches, it's no surprise the 2016 Colorado lands on this list for questionable longevity beyond 55,000 miles. 7. The 2010 Ford F-150 with the 5.4-liter Triton engine reminds us that even top-selling trucks can have trouble spots. Ford's F-Series is iconic, revered by many for its supposed bulletproof designs. Yet this particular iteration gained notoriety for engine and transmission quirks that can leave buyers with hefty repair bills. One standout issue is the spark plug nightmare. The 5.4-liter Triton's spark plugs can seize in the aluminum heads, turning a routine maintenance job into a fiasco. Mechanics often resort to specialized tools, and broken plugs aren't uncommon during removal. If a simple plug change ends up with shattered threads, you're looking at a time-consuming and pricey fix. Over multiple plug replacements across the truck's lifespan, the frustration and expenses can mount. Cam phaser rattle is another hot topic. As the phasers wear, a ticking or knocking emerges, growing more pronounced over time. Some owners can live with the noise, but it's unsettling and may hint at bigger engine issues if left unresolved. In extreme cases, performance drops and advanced mechanical repairs become necessary. That's far from ideal in a truck that's meant to handle work sites, fishing trips, and family towing duties. Transmission complaints also crop up, albeit less consistently. Some 2010 F-150S exhibit harsh shifts or erratic gear changes. Combine that with an engine prone to spark plug headaches, and you have a truck that might demand more patience than the average owner can muster. Worse, the 5.4-liter Triton isn't exactly a fuel economy champ, meaning you're burning extra gas while dealing with ongoing mechanical concerns. For many, brand loyalty holds strong, and there are indeed folks out there who've logged high mileage without major issues. Yet enough problems have surfaced to justify listing the 2010 5.4-liter equipped F-150 as a cautionary choice for reliability purists. If you stumble upon one in a used lot, thoroughly check service records, particularly spark plug replacements and any cam phaser fixes, before rolling the dice. 6. A Toyota truck on a don't buy list can feel sacrilegious, but the 2017 Tacoma stirred enough complaints to earn its spot. Toyota has a famed history of tough, long-lasting pickups, but even the mightiest name can stumble. The biggest red flag? The 6-speed automatic transmission that often hunts for gears, sapping driver confidence on both highways and back roads. Many owners describe the gearbox as indecisive, shifting up and down at odd intervals. If you're towing a light trailer or weaving through stop-and-go traffic, the repeated shifting can become maddening. Toyota introduced software patches aimed at smoothing out these shifts, but results vary. For some, it helped enough to make the truck livable. For others, the gearbox continued to behave like a confused dance partner, never quite sure which step to take next. Under the hood, Toyota employed a 3.5-liter V6 with D4S injection, mixing direct and port injection. Theoretically, that provides efficiency and power benefits. Yet owners often lament the lack of low-end torque, leaving the Tacoma feeling more sluggish than earlier generations. While that's not necessarily a breakdown risk, an underwhelming power delivery can mean the engine struggles more when towing or climbing hills, creating heavier wear and tear than you'd expect from a Toyota powertrain. On top of that, a strange chirping noise from the fuel system has unnerved some drivers. This cricket-like sound might not signal immediate doom, but Toyota fans expect near silence from their engines, especially given the brand's reputation for top-notch engineering. It's jarring to hear persistent chirping in a truck that's often praised as bulletproof. A final disappointment is that resale values, typically a strong suit for the Tacoma, might be dented by these reliability and performance woes. The brand name still carries weight, so it's not as though the 2017 Tacoma is worthless. But if you're shopping for an older model to avoid new truck prices, just be mindful of these quirks. In a market where Toyota trucks command premium prices, you'll want to ensure you aren't paying top dollar for a persistent headache. The 2020 Jeep Gladiator reignited the public's craving for a Jeep truck. Adventure seekers love the idea of Wrangler-style open-air freedom with added bed utility. Middle-aged Americans who remember the classic Scrambler or Comanche also felt a wave of nostalgia. Unfortunately, that excitement came with a learning curve, as the brand-new Gladiator battled teething problems during its early production runs. Foremost is the steering wander phenomenon. Owners describe the wheel feeling overly light or loose at highway speeds, demanding constant micro-corrections. Jeep responded with TSBs to modify steering boxes or alignment specs, improving but not always eliminating the problem. Given Jeep's emphasis on off-road prowess, a finicky steering system can drain driver confidence on both highway commutes and rocky trails. Payload and towing capacity also fueled debate. Officially, the Gladiator can haul and tow competitive loads for a mid-sized truck. But real-world stories suggest the Pentastar 5.6 can struggle when hauling near its maximum rating. Overburdened engines often face accelerated wear, raising concerns that repeated heavy use could trigger expensive repairs well before the typical half-ton hits its golden years. Electrical gremlins also plagued early adopters. From random infotainment glitches to odd sensor faults, the Gladiator's advanced electronics occasionally acted more possessed than polished. Although many issues boiled down to software updates, the frustration for owners was real, especially considering the truck's premium price point. Additionally, certain owners reported issues with the rear differential. Lockers meant for advanced off-roading sometimes activated irregularly or failed at unexpected times. If that happens mid-trail, it can be more than just a small inconvenience. It can mean a precarious situation if the truck's traction system goes haywire. Jeep's strong off-road legacy doesn't immune it from real-world mechanical gremlins, particularly in a new model's first year. Overall, the 2020 Gladiator stands out for its fun factor, removable doors and roof, iconic styling, and Jeep's legion of fans. But if your prime focus is assured reliability well before 55,000 miles, the risk might outweigh the novelty. Later production runs or newer model years often iron out kinks, so be cautious about the earliest builds, especially if you value your peace of mind when venturing off into the wild. The 2019 Ford Ranger symbolized Ford's grand re-entry into the American mid-size truck scene. Longtime Ranger fans hoped to recapture the spirit of the beloved older models, while new buyers eyed its modern EcoBoost technology for a practical daily driver. Reality, though, revealed a few stumbles that tarnished that bright comeback. The 2.3-liter EcoBoost engine promised zippy performance and respectable fuel economy, but owners quickly encountered turbo lag or inconsistent power delivery. Sometimes the truck feels lifeless at lower RPMs, then surges with a sudden burst once the turbo spools. While that's not an immediate reliability risk, abrupt power surges can add stress to the drivetrain, especially if you're towing or climbing steep roads. Ford's co-developed 10-speed automatic likewise garnered mixed reviews. In some Rangers, it shifts smoothly and seamlessly, living up to the hype of more gears delivering optimized performance. In others, it clunks or rapidly shuffles gears, leaving drivers guessing which gear they're in. Repeated jarring shifts can degrade internal components. Although Ford tried patching the software, many owners still describe less than ideal shifting behavior, unsettling in a truck you hope will last for years. Build quality concerns further erode confidence. Squeaky dash panels, rattling doors, or glitchy infotainment systems paint a picture of a rushed production. Yes, these might be minor annoyances on their own, but collectively they hint that corners could have been cut. If superficial parts show poor durability, you start to wonder how robust the underlying mechanical systems are. Direct injection EcoBoost engines also risk carbon buildup if not properly maintained. If you're meticulous about oil changes and occasional intake cleaning, you might be fine, but if you're less rigorous with maintenance, that accumulation can prompt misfires or performance hiccups before you ever get close to 55,000 miles. For many, the Ranger's promise of a versatile, agile truck might be overshadowed by these potential pitfalls. Of course, some owners rave about their smooth-running Rangers, but the inconsistency means you're gambling on which experience you'll have. If you need bulletproof dependability, the 2019 Ranger's laundry list of possible quirks may be a turnoff, especially when competing trucks have simpler powertrains and more proven transmissions. 3. The 2017 GMC Canyon aimed to deliver a premium take on the midsize format. Truck buyers who wanted the practicality of a Chevy Colorado but desired a dash of refinement gravitated toward GMC's professional-grade pitch. Unfortunately, the Canyon inherited many of the same mechanical gremlins, exposing the gap between promise and reality. Like the Colorado, the 2017 Canyon suffered from the dreaded transmission shudder. Whether you attribute it to design flaws in the torque converter or inadequate transmission fluid choices, the result is the same: an annoying, persistent vibration at certain speeds that can chip away at your driving enjoyment. Some owners found half measures to alleviate it, but many continued to grapple with the problem beyond basic service intervals. Engine choices included the 2.5-liter inline-4, the 3.6-liter V6, and the 2.8-liter Duramax diesel. Each had unique perks but also potential pitfalls. The V6, for instance, delivered decent power, but sometimes experienced random stalling or unpredictable idle behavior. If you're commuting daily or frequently towing, erratic engine performance isn't just a nuisance, it can be a legitimate safety concern. For those who sprung for the diesel, the torque was welcome, but the delicate emissions system demanded near-perfect conditions to avoid DPF clogging. Short commutes and city traffic rarely let the truck enter a full region cycle, leading to repeated visits to the dealership for cleaning or sensor replacements. The cost and inconvenience can sour even the most enthusiastic diesel fan. Another worrying complaint involved sporadic electric power steering failures. Drivers described a momentary but alarming loss of assist. Even if it recovers, it shakes your confidence in the truck's reliability. And when you've paid extra for GMC's supposed edge and quality, encountering the same issues as the more budget-friendly Colorado can feel frustratingly ironic. Don't forget the premium price tag. You're paying for an upscale brand, and yet you might end up with the same transmission shudder or DPF fiasco your neighbor's Colorado has. If your top priority is a hassle-free midsize pickup, the 2017 Canyon's track record of mechanical hiccups and elevated costs for parts or repairs might be a deal-breaker. Though some owners sail through ownership unscathed, the risk factor is high enough to earn the Canyon a place on this watch list. The 2016 Chevy Silverado is another eyebrow-raiser because of how integral the Silverado is to America's truck identity. Rugged and time-tested, it's typically the kind of truck you'd trust for heavy hauling, construction work, or cross-country adventures. Unfortunately, the 2016 variant introduced problems that tarnished the brand's well-established credentials. A chief culprit, the 8L 98-speed automatic transmission, which gave owners a litany of grievances. Complaints of sudden jerks, hard shifts, or an ongoing shudder blossomed across forums. GM's remedy often involved switching out the factory fill for a different transmission fluid. But that wasn't always a permanent fix. Any constant vibration or harsh shifting can weaken transmission components, implying potential big-ticket repairs lurking down the road. The 5.3-liter V8, while generally lauded, wasn't immune to flaws. A ticking noise, sometimes linked to valve lifter or AFM active fuel management issues, left owners concerned about long-term engine health. You also see talk of minor but worrisome oil cooler line leaks. The question is whether these are small annoyances or precursors to significant mechanical failure. If you're unlucky, a small leak can escalate into serious engine trouble, putting you on the hook for repairs you never expected at such low mileage. Electrical gremlins further chipped away at confidence. Random warning lights, intermittent sensor misreads, or glitchy infotainment systems all feed into that dreaded question. If the electronics are buggy, what else did they cut corners on? While some owners might chalk it up to modern trucks being more complex, repeated visits to the dealer can drain your bank account and patience. One more annoyance is the occasional rattling from interior trim or seat materials wearing prematurely, small details that reinforce the broader perception that the 2016 Silverado's build quality just wasn't up to snuff. That doesn't automatically guarantee a catastrophic breakdown, but it does diminish faith in the truck's ability to go the distance trouble-free. If you're a loyal Chevy fan, you might find a decent 2016 Silverado that defies these complaints. But the prevalence of transmission, engine, and electrical woes is too big to ignore. For anyone seeking an ironclad workhorse that won't hiccup before 55,000 miles, it pays to approach this model year with eyes wide open. Number 1. At number 1 sits the 2018 Ford F-150, specifically the models equipped with the co-developed 10-speed automatic transmission. Ford's F-150 is an American icon, dominating sales and setting trends. When they introduced a 10-speed gearbox for improved efficiency and performance, Many believed it was a game changer. But owners soon discovered that more gears don't necessarily equate to smoother reliability. Reports of clunky shifts, harsh downshifts, and random gear hunting emerged quickly. It's unnerving when you attempt a pass on the highway and the truck seems momentarily unsure which gear to grab. Over time, abrupt shifts can strain internal components, sometimes requiring reprogramming or even a rebuild. The fear of unexpected transmission repairs well before 55,000 miles can overshadow any excitement about the F-150's iconic status. Then add in engine complexities. Ford's EcoBoost lineup can deliver excellent torque and mileage until moisture builds up in the intercooler or the timing chain tensioners wear prematurely. Not every truck suffers from these flaws, but enough do that it's a recognized risk. Combine that with auto-stop-start technology, which repeatedly flips the engine on and off at traffic lights, creating extra load cycles on key components. In theory, it saves fuel. In practice, it might accelerate wear and magnify potential mechanical glitches. Even the interior's fancy tech can introduce headaches. Glitches with advanced driver aids or infotainment have surfaced. Small inconveniences become bigger doubts if you're already worried about transmission or engine reliability. While many owners enjoy trouble-free miles, the risk factor for 2018 F-150 owners is higher than in older, simpler F-Series trucks. Despite Ford's brand loyalty and the truck's unstoppable popularity, the 2018 F-150's 10-speed experiment has proven hit or miss. If you want high-tech features and are willing to gamble on potential transmission drama, you might still roll the dice. But if you want a no-sweat truck that's almost guaranteed to last without a major hiccup, tread carefully here. The 2018 model's controversies land it squarely atop this do-not-buy list for anyone hoping to avoid shop visits before that 55,000-mile milestone. Outro. Jokes aside, these are the trucks that have earned a reputation for testing their owner's patience. While not every single unit will self-destruct early, the documented evidence is enough to set alarm bells ringing. Hope you found this video useful. Thanks for hanging out with me until the end. And if you're new here, consider subscribing so we can keep talking trucks. May your rig run smooth and never leave you stranded.